Good morning, guys. Good morning. Big Square, road with your morning horn of Z's. Your sip of coffee. I can't tell you how many emails I got this morning. A ridiculous amount due to an interview my buddy Sean did with Lynette Zang about how the IMF is taking over the world via cryptocurrency. I have no doubt that that's their plan. I have very much doubt that they will be successful. If you look at, well, first of all, let's start with Lynette Zang and Sean get really emotional in this interview. And Sean's scared to death. He has a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. He was getting over it for a while because the price went up of the cryptos, but now he's back into the FUD mode. So let's talk about Lynette Zang. Now, first of all, Lynette Zang is a salesperson for bullion, silver and gold. So of course she's going to be anti-crypto. But on a deeper level, she talks about a coin called the ACC coin, which is like an IMF coin, and says, "Oh my God, it's their plan for them to wrap up all the assets of the world and the cryptocurrencies and make them go through a single or a few supernodes." You know, supernodes have been talked about for a long time. Supernode is a centralized form. A node, a full node, is the full blockchain on your computer on a server. There's, I think, 8,000 to 10,000 supernodes out there, and not supernodes, but full nodes. Supernode would be a centralized form of a cryptocurrency, which is completely against anything. And I'm sure that's what the IMF wants, a centralized node so that they can control all this stuff. But yeah, they're allowed to do anything they want. They can start any coin they want. In this, they're saying we're going to put out SDRs based on the assets that get locked up into the supernode. I think the banks would be in favor of that, and the banks own most of the assets right now, and that's fine. Let them go ahead and do it. One clear thing it says to me is that the IMF, the central bankers, and the banks know that they can't kill the blockchain technology, Bitcoin, and the cryptos. So if you can't beat them, what do? You join them, and then fight your fight from that angle. The concept that she is putting out there, though, is that every single cryptocurrency is going to have to go through the supernode of the banksters, and that's just not true. The centralization of a supernode, where only there's like one or a few different places that hold the entire blockchain. You gotta look at who's holding it and who would accept it. Like in the Bitcoin community, I know there are a bunch of freedom fighters. I'm not gonna accept something like that. It's ridiculous. The banks will probably accept something like that because they know if they can put all their assets into one supernode blockchain, what's it called, ACC coin, they can hide a lot of their crap and a lot of their bad deeds. So there's no doubt in my mind that the IMF would be doing this. Remember also that in the very near future, the credibility of the central banks, the credibility of the IMF, the credibility of our government will be called into question. And for good reason. And people will go to jail. And a lot of people within the IMF will go to jail. And if you read John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, you know what the IMF is. And do you really want them controlling anything? Who in their right mind would pledge their assets to something like ACC controlled by the IMF? I won't pledge my assets. That's up to the individual. But I think a lot of these guys at the IMF, the World Bank, the Federal Reserve, will be in jail by then. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. But the freak out is truth. It's FUD. We experience FUD all the time: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. In the cryptos, this is just more FUD. Sean gets very emotional about this stuff because he's brand new. He's a newbie. He's a baby to the cryptos. He just came around when the price started going up, got him all excited. And I love Sean to death. But there's more going on here than just Lynette Zang saying, crypto sucks, so buy bullion from me. Yeah, of course there's plans to. The bad guys aren't going to just let this thing go, and the banks aren't going to lose all their control. I would be very wary of real estate backed anything, knowing that most of the real estate is fraudulently put together with the robo signing and all that put into mortgage-backed security. So what a great way to hide it if you put it into something like an ACC coin that basically gives title to the coin, and then you can sell off the coins and basically spread your bad deeds and bad assets to everyone in the world and walk away clean. So yeah, I'm sure there's many more types of ways that the current controllers of everything are planning to keep control, and that's up to the individual. I mean, this is a brand new world where we're running into, and all this FUD coming from Lynette Zang, it makes one thing very clear to me, is that the IMF and the powers that be know the blockchain technology is here to stay, and they want to be in charge of it. They're probably going to throw all their assets into it. They're not going to throw my assets into it. I'm not going to let them do that because I control my own assets in my own possession. As far as supernodes, no. I mean, they can run their own supernode. All a supernode is central control of an asset. If they want to do that for ACC, go for it. I don't know anybody who would invest in something. The blockchain technology is a distributed network. There's no centralization. The moment you start to centralize this stuff is the moment it loses its whole reason for being. So I don't think the ACC coin will be participated in by anything other than the bankers, and that's fine because they want to keep control of their assets that they hold right now. It's not a Bitcoin killer. It's not gonna kill Ethereum and all the companies that are doing stuff on their own, peer-to-peer transactions without a supernode. So that's my take, and everybody was asking, Bix, what's your take? Oh my God, should I sell my Bitcoin? No, don't sell your Bitcoin. Let the bankers do whatever they want in the crypto. It's a free world. They have just as much rights to do what they want with their organization as we do. I do think a lot of them will be in jail when the next crash comes. So I don't think it's gonna matter really. But it just proves how powerful the cryptocurrencies are for the freedom of humanity. Is that the bad guys need to get in the mix? They can't kill it, so they gotta. If you can't kill them, join them. So it'll be interesting. Yes, the bad guys want to take over the world. The question I would pose to everyone, those who know that there's a battle going on between the good guys and the bad guys, I think that the good guys are winning and are going to win. And if they are going to win, there won't be much centralization of anything. And remember, when when the banks put all their criminality into assets, they sign it over to a coin like ACC, then they have no assets, and they're leverage lenders. What are they going to do? They'll be selling it off maybe to get somewhat out of it. What are they going to sell it for? Bitcoin? Probably. Wouldn't that be cool? Every single house gets tokenized and they put it on the market because they know that the unbacked fiat money system is dying. That's why they're getting into the blockchain technologies and the cryptos. Will this be a dominant player? Yeah. If all the banks around the world and the central banks and the IMF choose to put all their assets into a blockchain type but digitized, it's already in their digitized system that they control. This is basically saying that, oh, by the way, we're going to put these into an ICO and have the whole world own all our assets. It defeats the purpose if it's got a super block or a super node like Lynette Zang is saying. I'm not worried. They already have all the control. And yes, the banks and the IMF and everybody hold this much stuff, and they want to hang on to this stuff because there's this little tiny uprising over here in the cryptocurrencies, called Bitcoin and Ethereum and Vertasium will really piss them off. But this one's growing, and this one is shrinking. And their control, this is all centralized, this is decentralized. If they invent an ACC coin with a super node, everything has to go through this node. The centralization, nothing will change. It's exactly the same. But this part over here, the decentralized part, is still growing. So that's my take on the FUD that Sean sounds so sad and desperate in this report. He's scared. He is absolutely scared, and I was scared when I first started playing in the cryptocurrencies too, because it does take a mental understanding of what is going on, the changes that are being done. So yes, let the FUD reign. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt keeps people away from Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. So more for us. Over time, the FUD will go away. And you'll hear interviews of Sean in the next 6 months saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I freaked out that one time when Lynette Zang told me about this new cryptocurrency." Because this is not stopping the growth. This is going to go into hyperdrive very soon. But that's my take. That's a big weird take. I've been through so many arguments about how the bad guys are going to use blockchain against humanity, and the mark of the beast and all that. It's like nuclear power. You can use it for good or you can use it for bad. And I'm fighting for the good stuff. If this ACC coin is bad, people, when the banks crash, who are they going to point fingers at? They're going to point fingers at the IMF, the World Bank, the banksters, and who would pledge their assets to that type of coin run by those type of people with central control, a supernode. I won't. But that's my take. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what the cryptos are doing. Wait a minute. Let's go here. And we're looking strong as ever. Bitcoin, $33.95. How long ago was it Bitcoin was, trying to get out of the $250 range? A couple of years. Talk about FUD. Yeah, I was scared, but I was investing. I knew what was coming in the future, and I know what's coming in the future now. This really is a way to save humanity used for the good. And the fear, uncertainty, and doubt it will always be there. But at some point, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is going to be about the central bankers' control over everything, and the crashing of the banks and the crashing of the unbacked fiat money. And that fear, uncertainty, and doubt is going to be within the U.S. dollar, within the euro, within gold and silver. And then where are you going to run to? Those who understand gold and silver will run to more gold and silver. Those who understand that the old system is dying are going to be looking for places to go, and nothing's a good of driver than fear. Fear is the most powerful force in a market, and fear of the dying unbacked fiat monetary systems with bank crashes around the world is going to go running into Bitcoin. That's why I have $10,000 as my mark by the end of the year for Bitcoin. And people laughed at me at the beginning of the year because Bitcoin was what? I don't even remember what it was. Let's take a look at what it was. Let's go 1 year chart. In January, Bitcoin was at $900, and I said in January, Bitcoin's going to go to 10,000 this year, and everybody laughed at me, like usual. And where is it? 34.12. So it has gone up 3 times. It'll go up 3 times more before the end of the year, is my estimation. A lot is based off of what I see coming down the line for our current monetary system. And gold and silver, I do think we're going to hit a point where gold and silver will break through the manipulation, which would be great. Awesome. Anyway, go back to the cryptos. There they all are. Let's go for all. Top 100. Bitcoin doing very well. Bitcoin Cash continues to fall. Don't know. The jury's still out on that. Is it good technology? Is it bad technology? I know a lot of people are wondering how to get their Bitcoin Cash out of their paper wallets. I'm not exactly sure. I don't plan on moving it. My advice to everybody would be just sit and wait. If you want to go try, I know it's trading on Kraken. You can try to get in there. I'm sure you can go to YouTube and find out how to get your Bitcoin Cash out of your Bitcoin paper wallet. And this is new, remember. So a lot of these companies like Coinbase, they're not letting you do that because they got to write the software so that you can do it. So yeah, it'll be interesting what happens to Bitcoin Cash. I don't think it's the ideal. It's not the fix. That's the other thing. It's not the fix to the exchange issue that Bitcoin had. The fix is Litecoin, faster, cheaper. It's gonna pick up the Lightning network right away. And there's a lot of Bitcoin FUD left because the SegWit hasn't been implemented yet. That happens. I think something happens in 2 weeks, and then something happens in December. But I chose to stay away from Bitcoin for the time being, just because nobody knows what's going to happen. I do think it's going to go up. but I think other cryptos are going to go up faster. I think Litecoin is going to really run, especially if Bitcoin Cash isn't used or able to be used in the same way. I think Bitcoin Cash still has a lot of issues, but Litecoin doesn't. And I'd say go Litecoin. 2 thumbs up for Litecoin. We'll see what happens. And then a couple of my favorites go down to Veritasium, hovering between $100, $200. Veritasium has a long way to go. When they announced that the Jamaican stock market has all of a sudden introduced a Veritasium trading platform, it opens a whole new world for Veritasium, and it'll prove Reggie Middleton's theory that things are actually happening in Veritasium, and the rest of the world will say, well, what is this thing, Veritasium? It might even trade on a bigger exchange. Although I don't think it. I think Reggie will just set up his own exchange, and all the other cryptos will be traded there because it's a more truthful way to do it. Not giving your cryptos and giving your cash to an exchange to trade in the pool. Why not have a peer-to-peer exchange? You have Bitcoin to sell. I want to buy Bitcoin. We don't need any intermediary. That type of thing. That's what Veritasium does. 10x the pay token. That baby's rocking. I like 10x. Whether or not they can hit their goals, 10x it's like a Visa card type of thing that they give 0.5% back to you, and there's different levels of things that you can earn, but it's working, and they have huge goals. And if you look at the crypto, look at that, it's up 26% in the last 7 days. So that's a good move. It's a good one to own. Populous, I love Populous. And listen to Cliff High's interview with the CEO of Populous, and you'll understand why I love Populous. Oh, also on the Sentra thing, for the Sentra coin, Cliff High has put together a way that they can save face. And you go to let's go right now to Half Past Human. And we will see that Cliff has posted something for the guys over at Sentra. It's right down here. And a keto solution to the blanked up ICO conundrum. This is a way that Sentra can redeem themselves and it gives them more time to go on a more viable path in the future. And I think it's cool. Cliff's giving you away. And you can read through this. It's pretty important, especially if you're an investor of the Sentra token that is pissed off, because it really wasn't a fully thought out idea, but they decided to go for an ICO right away. It talks about. Let's just go through it. As long as the ETH used to purchase the now low confidence tokens is locked up in the smart contract, time remains to save everyone's asses here. And this is the Sentra stuff. ETH will appreciate between now and the time the smart contract opens. The owners of the smart contract who are continuing to dig themselves into holes can recover and make everyone better, if not completely whole. Here's how. And he walks through how you can do that. The buyback smart contract can be written to purchase their tokens with ETH. It can be operational from the start. This is all about the Sentra mess up. I think Sentra should read this. They should do this because they have a chance right now to flip from something bad to something good. And something good would be great if they are able to deliver on what they promise, and they can prove to the world. I'll be jumping up and down for them. I'll be buying their tokens. But until they do that, and if they resist making this change, good luck to them. But yeah, definitely, if you own any Sentra tokens, send them to Cliff High's website. I think they have it already. But a phone call from you or an email from you that saying that you have bought tokens and you didn't know that it wasn't fully thought out business plan, and you want them to make this change, I think it'll go a long way. And finally, there you have it. Silver is on the move, finally over $17. Yes, silver's starting to move. Nowhere to go but up. When you hit like $14, $15, there's nowhere to go but up. for silver, and a really exciting time for silver. Silver will continue to rise and rise and rise until the bad guys get tired of shorting. That's how they control the price. They just keep shorting. Every rise means JP Morgan's shorting to slow down the rise. We'll see what happens. JP Morgan's pretty much close to closed out their silver short position, and they have all that physical silver. So I think it's a good time to let it go, let it run, and then it'll be really crazy. Anyway, that's your morning Horn of Z's. The end of FUD. No, FUD continues. It will continue for a long time. Sean, I love you, but don't get so excited. You're new to Bitcoin. All this stuff you're gonna hear. Bitcoin has died over 100 times, and this is just another one to get us all riled up and scared. But yeah, those who look past the FUD and look at the potential of something good happening are gonna make a lot of money and be patting yourself on the back that you listened to Big Weir during all the FUD. We'll talk to you later.